What's up, YouTube? I'm Gunner, and today we're here at Movement Rhino for another episode of my Colorado Gym Tour series. Let's check out the space and try some of the boulders. So Movement Rhino is one of 5 movement gyms in Colorado, and this location is the only bouldering only location. So we won't see any ropes in this gym, but a lot of amazing terrain for bouldering. One of my favorite aspects that this gym has that some of the other gyms do not have is all of the comp terrain, and that's what we're going to spend the majority of our time on today. So let's try out some of these boulders. One of the reasons I absolutely love this gym is because of the quality of boulders they have across the whole grade spectrum. So for example, this yellow one here is only a V2 to V4, but I can already tell that it's going to be amazing skill builder for me. And this is a great skill builder because it's not necessarily physically demanding, but requires a lot of attention to detail in the movements that you make on the wall. So let's go ahead and try this one out. All right, so I'm having a little bit of trouble with this boulder, and let me explain what's going on. So for the start move here, I have a pretty good setup where my toe allows me to drive my hips into the wall to put my body weight over my foot. So that move there has been going smoothly so far. The next move that I'm kind of struggling with is this transition over and around this section here. So I'm debating which of these 2 feet to use. I want to use this right foot because it's pretty in cut and allows me to dig in and again shift my hips into the wall. So I think I'm going to go ahead and try to navigate this section a little bit slower and try to get a hand down on the volume this time maybe. Or I might keep my feet even lower and go for an undercling potentially here and try to figure out a new sequence up through there. So as you can tell from that last attempt, it ended up being more beneficial instead of using this more in-cut foot to actually use the one that was a little bit closer. This helped me shift my weight way over my hips and knee to get a nice center of gravity right over this foot and allow me to transition further right onto this volume and use this edge here. I tried to transition down this way, but I don't necessarily think that's the right move here. So now instead of going completely over here beforehand, I think I'm gonna try to go up first and then transition for a walk across these boxes. Let's go ahead and try it out. right, so that was the best attempt yet. It looks like my idea of standing up off this foot before transitioning over ended up working out. And then I ended up making that same mistake actually over here. So I'm gonna try to stand up here, match feet on this one, and then step over across instead of going back down and trying to step through again. So let's go ahead and try that method. So as you can see, I got my butt whooped on this problem, and it's only V2 to V4, and that's one of the reasons I absolutely love this gym. Their quality of boulders is really high across the whole spectrum of grades because they set amazing comp style moves that are low percentage. A low percentage move is one that's pretty hard to replicate over and over again if you're repeating it. So that's where you get a lot of skill acquisition because it forces you to think about the micro movements that you make on the wall. All right, it's time to jump into something a little bit more difficult. This pink here is gonna be a V6 to V8 at this gym on the circuit that it's on. And it looks like the first move here is gonna be a palm press. So be jumping out of that position, palm press here with the right hand, and then try to do a cool little paddle move through here. So let's go ahead and try it out. All right, so now that I'm a few tries deeper into this one, let's go ahead and talk about what I'm thinking about when I'm up on the wall. So first and foremost, I want to think about my belly button as being my center of gravity, and I want to think about throwing that in the direction that I need to go. So for me, I'm going to be drawing a circle that's going to go with my belly button around to the left and then out that direction. So instead of just going in a straight line across the wall, I'm going to do a little arc, and that's going to allow me to load my feet on the left a little bit more effectively to drive over this way. And I'm looking to put almost all of my weight onto this hand as I move through this section. So just long enough to get a really good grip of that hold, and then I'll try to get into this one a little bit quicker from there. All right, I'm getting really close on this one, but my main issue seems to be that I'm not getting high enough up. So I think two ways that I'm going to try to think about fixing that movement. First and foremost is pushing up more on that left foot to drive my weight up, and also trying to extend really hard off of this right hand to get me up and over. Let's see if we can lock this move down. Finally stoked to take this one down. I think the thing that made the difference for me the most was driving my hips into the wall as well as pushing up. So I had to make sure that I was really close on this move in order to get over here in a high enough position to make this hold useful. Really love this one. Shout out to Dan and Dave, the setters here at RiNo, for just some excellent boulders today. Super stoked with how they're going so far. Let's try some others. All right, it's time to step up the difficulty a bit, and I think this blue one is going to be a great challenge for me today. So this starts off of 2 crimps here. Left hand crimp, that's pretty in cut, and then a right hand crimp here as well. And it looks like the first move is going to be getting a high foot here and jumping back to sort of a Gaston crimp here. It's going to be slightly behind my head. So we'll see if I can get it that way, and if not, might have to go for a double clutch to this guy here. There's a crimp here and a crimp on the other side. So let's see how it goes. All right, so it turns out my initial read of this one was wrong. And I can actually just stand up hard off of that right foot and reach back to this crimp here as kind of a overhead undercling. My struggle on that last one was finding a proper finish position, but I think I might have to throw a heel up high on the volume and the little chip that they screwed on there in order to match out and get some oppositional force for that last move. All right, that's the end of my gym tour here in Movement Rhino, and I just wanted to say that was an absolute blast. I really loved the comp style boulders at this gym and think it made for a great training experience overall. I hope you guys enjoyed the tour. For this gym, I'm gonna go ahead and give it 3 stars out of my 3-star rating scale. 1 star for having really fun boulders, 1 star for having really intentional boulders, and 1 star for having proper eliminates for training. Absolutely love this gym and look forward to having some more sessions here in the future, so stay tuned for more videos. If you enjoy the series so far, be sure to subscribe and follow along as I explore more gyms here in Colorado. I'll see you guys in the next one.